Hey guys, how's it going? It is Drake. So, we have to answer one simple question. Should you play League of Legends Wild Rift? I'm currently playing this version of the game on an iPhone 12 Pro. The game is not yet available on consoles, I don't believe. I think that is coming in 2021. This is something I have wanted for the longest time. I've played League of Legends for about 8 years, 7 years maybe. I've spent quite a lot of money on it. A ton of time, made a ton of memories. I love the esports scene, everything about this game. If it was the only game I could play for the rest of my life, I'd be happy with that decision. Like, I wouldn't even sweat it. If I was on a desert island, I had one game, this would be the game. I love it from just everything about it. I find incredible. But does it hold up on mobile? Is it a good mobile experience? And should you play it? Should you give it your time? The most important currency you have, should you give it that? The answer is yes, for one really simple reason. It's completely free. Now, it's going to be really hard when I do this series and talk about games that are free, because if a game is free, hey, you might as well just try it. You might as well see if it's any good. If it's not, just delete it. Like, there's no harm done, right? Now, if you are a seasoned League of Legends player, that's where this question in particular gets a little more interesting. Should you play League of Legends Wild Rift if you have put a ton of time into the core main game on PC? Maybe. Now, this game is clearly aimed at people who haven't played before. I know they've done some marketing to say like, hey, this is for like hardcore League of Legends players or MOBA players. If you're on the go, you're not at your laptop or computer or whatever, this is a way where you can play League of Legends. That is technically true. Like, I play League quite a lot, and I ebb and flow with the game. I put a ton of time into it. And yeah, I enjoyed my experience with it, and I still am enjoying my experience with it. But would I play this instead of the PC version? Probably not. That's why I think the best use case for this and the best players for this game are going to be the Indian market, which is blowing up when it comes to mobile gaming. Like, PUBG is super big over there, and I think Free Fire as well is huge. So the opportunity for growth here is really big. And it's an area in which Riot can really get into the mobile market. They've got Runeterra, I know, and they'll have other games on mobile in the future. But League of Legends on mobile works surprisingly well, like way better than I ever thought it would work. They make certain changes to the design of League to make it work on mobile really well. Some of these things are going to change on console. For example, when you auto attack, when you hit minions, hit champions, etc. with your standard auto attack, which is the button you can see me spamming on the screen, by the way, because I wasn't quite yet aware. This is, I think, my second game. I wasn't aware you could just hold it down. Now, the important design change here is that all you have to do is hold the button or tap it or whatever, and it will attack the most priority, right? If you're in that circle and you've got minions, champions, and a tower, it will attack the closest champion. If you've got tower and minions, I think depending on how many minions there are, it will actually just attack the minions, and then when there's fewer, it will attack the tower. In my experience, this is like a really good way to handle it. It would actually be interesting if they introduced something like this on the console version, but we'll see. I don't want to talk too much about hypotheticals on the console version. This is a really nice answer. They have some other edits as well. For example, you won't notice it straight away, but the map changes. The map is not identical to the PC version. The game also doesn't have a setup time. So you'll notice that minions spawn basically instantly. You get into lane and they're effectively already there. My average game time so far is about 15 minutes. It's a mobile game, it's got to be quick, it's got to be kind of fluid. You can't be having 50-minute games on a bus ride home. It's just not going to work. So, what else do they do to shave down that time? As I mentioned, the map is a little smaller. Now, they don't have inhibitors, which is a big part of League of Legends. It's an extra layer of strategy that is stripped away from the game to improve the playtime. So they take away inhibitors, which takes away super minions, but the Nexus tower rather, actually does damage. Like, it shoots you now. If you get too close to it, it will shoot you if you don't have the minions in front of you. I think it's a nice feature. It's a nice little middle ground between not having inhibitors and simply walking into the base. There is a sweet little design touch that I am a huge fan of, and it is something that they could bring to the PC version of League of Legends. That is swaps or map rotation. So those that are a little more experienced with just gaming in general will think that I mean lane swapping. I actually don't. You will notice at the start of this video, as I was running to lane, the screen rotated round, and my bot laner, Blitzcrank, supposed to support me because I was playing ADC, actually went to the traditional bot lane, but in this game, that was the top lane. I was a little confused by it at certain points as well, because what I ended up doing, my team called for a Baron fight, and if you're unfamiliar with League of Legends, that is a mutual monster on the map that everyone can go for that gives the team a huge buff. And I was stood near Dragon Pit for like 20 seconds, and I was like, where is everyone? And then suddenly I realized, oh yeah, the map flips around. I do say this as someone I prefer playing with when I start on the bot side. So for me, this is like a really nice change. I would really love it if they brought this to PC. It would make my day. There are genuinely certain lanes or positions I feel uncomfortable in on League if the map is like on blue to red side. Basically, if I start at the top side of the map, I just feel uncomfortable. Don't know why. Maybe it's a mechanical thing. Maybe I'm just poor mechanically. Not too sure. The shop is a little simpler for people. Auto attacks, as I've explained, are really easy to pull off. You can see me kind of snapping on occasionally with the yellow crosshair. I have found that to be mechanically problematic, right? I will snap onto someone and then find it very difficult to, if I'm in a 2v1 fight and I want to snap onto a particular character, it feels like it takes a little too long to do and to cancel out of it. I've found that the easiest way to stop it is just to run off and then run back into the fight. I've only played a handful of champions so far. For those that have got experienced like legacy accounts like myself that have got, you know, thousands and thousands and thousands of games and nearly all the champions unlocked, you don't get any of that. You don't keep any of it. It's quite frustrating, but I also understand why. They don't want to give people an unfair advantage, and this is supposed to be a fresh start. There is a lot of good things about this. There is a ton of good things to enjoy about the game. What is important, I think, is does the League of Legends experience cross over? Does this feel like League of Legends? And that will answer the ultimate question of should you play Wild Rift? My answer is going to be yes. This still feels like League of Legends. As someone that's played the game for many years, this still feels like League to me. The League that you know and love. You're not going to play it over the PC version, but it is fun. It is, the time I've spent with it is enjoyable. It's familiar enough, and the game design changes that have been implemented are fair enough and understandable, I think, for a lot of people. There's nothing that feels like, oh, they've just made the game stupidly accessible. The game, like, people still do nice plays, right? It's not, and this is like day one of the game. People are still doing cool stuff. So I'm really interested to see where the game goes. The biggest outlier question for me so far is what happens in the pro scene. They've introduced ranked play into this and competitive. You have to be, I think, level 12. What happens? At Worlds 2021, do you see the finals and there's another finals after that that is, you know, mobile only? Is there then going to be, you know, a console only variant? This is something I'm really interested to see. The one thing I am glad for, though, is that this opens League of Legends up to millions and millions and millions of more people. You don't need a high-end phone to play this game. I am playing on an iPhone 12 Pro. It is 30 FPS. Maybe it could go higher, but to keep it fair for everyone, it is stuck at that. I think it's fine. It handles really well. It looks pretty. It feels good. It sounds good. A lot of the League UI is just there. It feels responsive to tap things and move around, to upgrade items. The shop is simplified, sure, but if you want to go deeper on it, you can do. So again, should you play this game? As I said at the start, if you want to, it's totally free and it always will be free, so go ahead. Should you play this game if you're a PC player? Give it a try. You might enjoy it on some downtime. If you've never played League of Legends before, this is a game you should play. It is a wonderful entry point into an incredible game, and you should absolutely give it your time.